The road of small steps in a quiet town near the edge of a wide plain lived a young boy named Aran. He was thoughtful, gentle, and often unsure of himself. While other children spoke loudly about their dreams and plans, Aran kept his hopes buried deep inside. He admired people who seemed confident, people who walked as if every path already welcomed them. He wished he could be like that, but fear always whispered that he was not ready. Every morning Aran walked past a long dirt road that stretched toward the hills outside the town. Few people traveled that way. To most, it looked empty and difficult, full of stones and dust. But Aran always felt something strange when he looked at it, as if the road was quietly calling to him, inviting him to walk farther than he had ever gone. One day, while standing near the road, he met Mira, an elderly woman who lived alone in a small house nearby. She noticed him staring at the horizon and asked why he looked so uncertain. Aran admitted that he wanted to explore the road, but he was afraid of getting lost, of failing, of discovering that he was not strong enough. Mira listened carefully. She did not tell him to be brave, nor did she promise that the road would be easy. Instead, she said something simple: "You do not have to walk the whole road today. You only need to take one honest step." The words stayed in Aran's mind long after he left. That evening he could not sleep. He kept thinking about the road, about the fear inside him, and about the possibility that maybe, just maybe, strength was not something a person already had, but something a person discovered along the way. The next morning he returned to the road. He stood at the edge, heart racing, hands trembling slightly. He remembered Mira's words. One step, he told himself, not the whole journey, just one step. So he took it. The road felt strangely different beneath his feet, rough, uneven, unfamiliar. For a moment he wanted to turn back, but when he looked behind him, he saw the single footprint he had left in the dust. It was small but real. It proved that fear had not won completely. He took another step. He walked slowly, quietly, one careful movement at a time. The world around him began to open. He saw tiny yellow flowers growing among stones, heard distant birds calling across the fields, and felt the wind gently pushing at his back as if encouraging him forward. He realized something he had never noticed before: the road was not empty. It was full of small, beautiful things hidden from those who rushed past or never dared to begin. As the hours passed, Aran grew tired. His legs ached, the sun felt heavy on his shoulders, and doubts returned. He wondered whether any of this mattered. He wondered whether he was foolish for trying, but then he noticed how far he had come. The town looked distant now, almost fragile on the horizon, and the fear that once chained him felt weaker. He understood that progress was not loud or dramatic. It was quiet, like breathing, like growing, like choosing to continue when no one else was watching. He sat under a lonely tree to rest. The wind rustled through the leaves, soft and patient. In that silence, Aran realized that what frightened him most was not the road, it was the voice inside him that kept saying he was not enough. And yet here he was, still moving, still standing. He was proving that voice wrong, not through grand actions, but through steady steps. Eventually he reached the base of the hills. The climb ahead looked steep and endless. For a brief moment fear tried to return, but this time he smiled. He understood that courage did not mean removing fear, it meant carrying it without letting it decide the path. He climbed slowly, stopping often to breathe, to think, to feel the ground beneath his feet. With every step upward, the world grew wider. The town below looked smaller, the plains opened like a great map, and the sky stretched farther than he had ever imagined. When he finally reached the top, he did not cheer or shout. He simply stood there, breathing deeply, feeling the steady rhythm of his own heart. He realized that no applause was needed, no witness was required. The victory was inside him, quiet, steady, undeniable. Mira joined him at the hilltop some time later, walking slowly with her cane. She looked at him and saw what had changed. Aran's posture was different. He did not look taller or stronger, but he carried himself as someone who had finally met his own strength. She asked him what he had learned. Aran thought carefully before answering. He said that the road had not given him courage, it had revealed it. He said that confidence was not something other people handed you, it was something you earned by facing your own doubts, one step at a time. He said that the world does not ask us to be fearless. It asks us to keep moving, even when our hearts are shaking. Mira smiled gently. She told him that every journey in life, every dream, every challenge, every hope is walked the same way. Not in leaps, not in perfection, but in small steps that slowly reshape who we are. As the sun began to set, Aran looked out at the horizon. The road behind him no longer seemed frightening. It looked like a story, his story written in footprints and quiet determination. He understood that he would face many other roads in his life, some steep, some uncertain, some filled with doubt. But he also knew that he would never again be trapped by the fear of beginning, because now he carried a truth inside him that strength is discovered in motion, purpose grows with patience, and every great journey begins the same humble way, with a single, honest step forward.